pulling all my strings, I'm gonna write another traveling song.
Okay, here we are in Edison, New Jersey, and I'm standing in front of the Edison Memorial Tower. That object at the top of the tower is supposed to look like a light bulb, one of Edison's more famous inventions. What's the connection between Thomas Edison and Walt Whitman? Well, first connection, they were both working at the same time. Edison patented the phonograph in 1878. Edison, after he invented the phonograph, one of the first things he wanted to do was record famous poets reciting their own work. In 1891, Edison recorded Whitman reading his poem America at his lab. Now, Edison's not working with MP3s or even CDs. He's not even working with vinyl platters like the old records that you might find in your parents' attic. He's actually working with wax cylinders. They kind of look like the inside of a toilet paper tube here. They were about the same size and hollow in the middle and made out of wax, and Edison would have turned a crank to make this thing rotate, and Whitman would have spoken into a funnel attached to a tube that would have captured the sound from his voice and moved it onto a stylus to carve patterns in the wax cylinder. The poem that he read was called America. It was written in 1888. Why did he pick this one? Well, number one, it was probably a new poem for him. It was only 2 or 3 years old at that point. Number two, it's short. The poem itself is only 6 lines long, but even being only 6 lines long, they actually ran out of space on the wax cylinder. They only got the first 4 lines of the poem recorded before they ran out of room. There have been some questions as to the authenticity of this Whitman recording. Some critics say that the recording quality is actually too good, given the very primitive equipment that Edison was working with. However, a scholar by the name of Ed Folsom wrote an article about this, and he argues that it is an authentic recording of Walt Whitman. Number one, we know that Edison actually wrote a letter saying he wanted to record Whitman. Number two, on the recording, Whitman sounds pretty old. This would have been recorded about 2 years before his death, at a time when his health was not great. And third, we know that Whitman really liked to read his poetry out loud. So he would have been very interested in getting one of his poems recorded so that people could listen to it. Whitman himself said, I like to read my poems in a palpable voice. I try my poems that way, always have. I read them aloud to myself. And the other thing that's kind of appropriate, this poem gets cut short, but it gets cut short after the 4th line. So Whitman's writing a poem called America, and he's actually earlier in his career called America, the Nation, in essence the greatest poem ever written. And the final word that gets recorded, Whitman's final word on America, is love.
America, center of equal daughters, equal sons, all alike and good, grown, ungrown, young or old, strong, ample, fair, enduring, capable, rich, perennial with the earth, with freedom, law, and love.